All right, y'all, it's that time again. It's Math with Mrs. Peters, the crazy cat lady of Hiram High School. Today's topic, solving quadratics by the square root method. Right, square root method means that we are going to take the root of both sides. So we have a nice little equation here, x squared equals 25, and I'm going to take the square root. Now, I want you to remember there are two numbers that when multiplied together give me positive 25, and that would be 5 and negative 5, because both of them, when multiplied together, equal 25. So both of these have the answer of 25. So I'm going to take the root on both sides of this. So I'm going to take the square root of x squared equals the square root of 25. Now, that is the plus and minus, the positive and the negative square root. All right, so x squared equals, positive 5 or equals negative 5. All right, 8x squared equals 360. Now, in order to use the square root method here, I have to have the thing that is squared, and that is x squared by itself. And that means I need to get rid of the coefficient of 8. And in order to do that, I am going to divide both sides by 8. So what I get is x squared equals 45. Now I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So x is equal to the positive and negative square root of 45. Now we need to simplify the square root of 45. So the square root of 45 is going to be the positive and negative 3 times the square root of 5. So I have two answers. My answer is the negative 3 square root of 5 and positive 3 square root of 5. That's my answer. And this right here is in set notation. Okay, in the previous two problems, we've had the constant over on the right-hand side of the equal sign. So to get that situation, I'm going to need to subtract 8 from both sides. So I'm going to subtract 8. And what I get is 2x squared equals negative 8. Divide both sides by 2. And I get x squared equals negative 4. Now, just like before, we have to take the square root of both sides. So x is equal to the positive and negative square root of negative 4. Now, simplifying this right here, I get 2i. So my answer for x is I have the positive 2i and I have negative 2i. So my solution set is negative 2i and positive 2i. And here's our last type of problem. What I want you to notice is I have the quantity x minus 2. The whole quantity is being squared. So this means I have to undo the squaring before I can deal with what's inside the parentheses. So to undo the squaring, we're going to take the positive negative root. So I'm going to have the quantity inside the parentheses. That's x minus 2 equaling the positive and negative square root of 81. Now, the square root of 81 is 9. Now, I have two equations happening here. I have x minus 2 equals negative 9, or I have x minus 2 equals positive 9. And I have to solve those little mini equations. And they're just little tiny mini equations. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. And I'm going to get x equals negative 7. And on the other side over here, I'm going to add 2. And I'm going to get x equals 11. So my solution set is negative 7 or 11. And that's all there is to solving by square root. Write your questions down, bring them to class, and I'll answer them. Have a good day. Enjoy.